Okay, so as a double clarification, for some reason, when I was talking about Onar's bodyguard rifle, I was thinking that it's two red dice. Well, they don't have any numbers on them. You have to add accuracy, so you have to do that. But I was wrong. So it's red and a green, and the green always has at least one accuracy or one number. So if they were next to each other, you don't need to activate that -1 damage. In this case, we did want to do the -1 damage because it was 2 spaces away. So I wanted to ensure hitting, but in order to do that, I did the -1 damage, and he ended up not doing any damage. So anyway, so back to the end of round 3, we do the status, which is the threat gets increased by 2, and the round goes up to 4. So we have 3 more rounds to interact with that terminal, we being the rebels. So now the Imperial has a choice of reinforcing. Yeah, let's go ahead and reinforce the jet troopers. So they can now reinforce at this point, or this point, or this point. Let's go back here. That'll use up the 2 threat, so spend that threat. And we get the benefit of the attachment. Let's go back here because they can always swoop in and attack. Maybe Shyla or one of these others. But again, the goal of the Imperials is to just try to wound all of them. That's not looking too likely, to be honest. Here, they're not doing too well. So let's unexhaust the Weequay Pirates, the activation tokens, and the rebels. So the rebels go first. So I'm thinking maybe the Weequay Pirates can go first because they get 2 good attacks and try to get rid of this probe droid. We still have kind of plenty of time left. It's only the start of round 4. The other option would be trying to attack this, but no, I like that. So Weequay Pirates, let's first, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's first have this one go and attack the droid. So the Weequay Pirates are good with their reroll. They have that reroll ability. So attacking. Ooh. Oh, the reroll. Okay, good thing I just said. So that's a good offensive roll there. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage ready to be done. But this one was good blocking. So while attacking, you may choose 1 die. The player that rolled that die must reroll that die. So let's reroll the black die. Still got the 3. I shook the die. I made sure it rolled in my hand. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's only 1 damage. So that was really bad. Then he's going to move. They can't do 2 attacks. Only the heroes can do 2 attacks. Let's have him move. Just back there is good. And this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and attack the droid. Again with the 3 rows. Same roll. Okay, let's shake up the die. They're going to re-roll this block again. So, okay, let's do that. 1, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1 is only 3. That doesn't kill it. Droid needs 5 damage to die. Okay, but the Weequay Pirates are done. They did their moves, their attacks. So now the Imperials, typically what I like to do is if there's 2 Imperial troops compared to 1, they have 2 different units that can activate. I like to do the 2 so that make sure they get their attacks, they're good stuff. But this guy's about to die. He wants, and he's got his special ability to explode at the end. I'm going to do that. So, but first, we're going to move. Maybe attack him. So they're going to move 1, 2, 3 right here. Actually, just 1, 2 because they have mobile as well, so they can just fly over. And they're going to shoot. 1, 2. Maybe they'll go there. So make sure they hit him. They want to make sure to have the range for that. So yeah, they are. They're going to go here. 1, 2 from there, and attack Finn. So Finn gets a black die, and so the droid gets a lot of dice. So we'll see what happens here. So it's 1, 2, 3, -1, but then we've got the surges. We've got 3 surges. So they're going to use all 3 surges. They get +1 damage, pierce 1, and they're going to recover 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, with with no block because of the pierce. So that's 4 damage. So 5 -1, and they're going to use the last one to recover 1. And at the end of a round, you may self-destruct, which will damage each of the ones nearby. Well, he's probably going to be dead anyway. I don't know if it really matters where he goes. Retrospect, I might have worked out a better situation, but I really wanted to attack Finn range 2 to make sure that it hit. So yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, they recovered 1 from using the surge, and that's the end of their turn. So I've never actually used that self-destruct because they always just die. If they have very few hit points left, then they're just going to die anyway. Okay, so now whose turn? Who wants to go? So we don't have to kill this right away because it's taken its turn. I think we probably want to do that guy. I'm going to be greedy and pick this up. So if I go move, if I use a strain for Shyla, she's going to use a strain to move here. She's going to use an activation, an action of her activation to grab this crate, and that gets a supply card, which could be useful, but it's really for the 50 gold in the campaign. Like I say, this is just one scenario, but the campaign is, I think, 8 or 10 scenarios or something, and it really helps to have gold, especially early. You build it up, and so here's one random supply card. Adrenal stim. Okay, so that's that can recover some strain, so that'll be good. Maybe later, maybe now. I think so. So anyway, let's keep going with our turn. So she's going to use another strain. She can only do 2 per turn rather. And then so now she's done the 2 strain move, 1 action. Now she's going to use her adrenal stim that she just got. It says, discard this card during your activation to choose yourself or an adjacent friendly figure. The chosen figure recovers 3 strain and becomes focused. That focused is the reason I really want to do it now. So recovering 3 strain is 2 strain plus 1 damage. So she's back to 4 damage. And now she gets focused, which technically put the card here, but she's going to do the attack right away. So focus, she's going to use her ability on the duelist blade, the action rather, replace 1 yellow die with 1 red die in this attack. So it's a red and a green, and the focus gives her an extra green, so she's going to get a lot of dice. And so the focus is going to go away after this turn. I'm going to take a shortcut, get rid of it right now. So she's attacking this enemy here. That should get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. She's going to use one of the surges for another damage. That's 5 damage versus 2 is 3, so that kills it. She has 2 more surges left over. She just needs 1. She's going to use one of them to recover a strain, which is a damage because she has no strain. So then she's done an interaction, an attack, and she did 2 strains. So basically her turn is over, and then respite at the end of your activation. If you're not adjacent to any hostile figures, recover 1 strain, which again is 1 damage. So these rebels are just not going to be wounded during this scenario. Not all of them. So the Imperial's going to have a really tough time as long as they keep moving. The rebels keep moving. So that's the end of Shyla's activation. Now the Jet Trooper, there's just 1, gets to go. Who does he want to attack? Let's try to attack Finn to get him, because he's got 7 damage out of his 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That does have line of sight, 1, 2, 3, and that's sufficient range. So, okay, so the jet trooper is going to shoot. Got a blue and a green, and Finn gets a black for blocking. Okay, we finally get to use the experimental arms. I'm just glad about that. So this is 4 damage, minus 2 is 2 damage, but experimental arms, big deal. All this build up just for this one little thing. While attacking, you may apply 1 surge to the attack results. Then, after the attack is resolved, you suffer 1 damage. So, that's what he's going to do. So 1 surge gives another damage on his card, so that's 5 damage minus 2 is 3. So we're going to give a 5, get back 2, so he's at 10 out of his 12. And 1 damage goes to the trooper here, jet trooper. Okay, so that's the end of their activation. So now any of them can go. Do we want to just open the door? Oh, we want to kill that also. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And, oops. And then she can just kill that, I think. And he can open the door, and then that'll be Onar ready to do whatever he needs to do when the door's open. So let's do that. So Diala's going to 1, 2, she only has 4 movement, 3, 4. 3, and then we'll see what happens. So she's going to attack. She might as well use her precise strike, which is an ability that costs 2 strain and means that they can't roll a defense die. It only needs 2 damage to die, so that's, I think, almost automatic. Not quite automatic. So that's 2 damage, and then she has a surge. She's going to use that to get rid of a strain. So that kills the probe droid. Okay, so the probe droid's gone. She has 1 movement point left. She doesn't have the respite ability. As a solo player, sometimes I get confused on the abilities, but I've been playing it a little while, so I'm pretty good with remembering. So she's going to use her remaining movement point there. She could strain to move some more, but no need to do that. So that's the end of that. So that's the end of her turn. So now I'm going to have Fen go. Yep. So he's going to go 1, 2, where does he want to go to open the door? Might as well go here. So 3. So okay, so that's 3 on a movement, and then he's going to interact. I know he's kind of getting towards wounded, but you know, that's too bad because they're not worried too much really about getting wounded the rest of the scenario. Although they don't know what's going behind the door, I do. So interacting with the door to open it. So that activates what happens next, which is the door opens, and out comes, or in the room, is Captain Taro, who is a big boss. And so let's get this figure. He deploys right here. I'll get his card in a moment. We have stormtroopers also. So they are here. And these are dictated by the game, where they go. It also says stormtroopers cannot be reinforced or redeployed once defeated. So that's something to keep in mind, because it says that heroes cannot interact with the terminal while there is at least 1 stormtrooper adjacent to it. So that's why the stormtroopers are very important. They're going to want to, huddle around the terminal, because if you remember, that's how to win the scenario. It's the only way to win the scenario is interacting with the terminal, the rebels, that is. So that's, and that's it. So we get Captain Taro's card and the Stormtrooper's card, and it will be one of their turns after Finn finishes his turn. He has 1 movement point left. Let's go ahead and move here. Captain Taro being a large figure, taking up more than 1 space, he has some kind of movement, a little bit of movement restrictions, can't go diagonal, so forth. So it kind of is a little bit of a benefit to be a little bit blocking there rather than back here, I think. So he's definitely going to get wounded, There's no question about that this turn. So, okay, so now who's going to go? Well, we definitely need we as the Imperial need the stormtroopers to go. If I have a Pharaoh go, get a good attack, do all sorts of really neat stuff, the next turn, Onar can just move over here. Well, he wouldn't be able to bash and interact. But anyway, I think it's best for the stormtroopers to go. So who do they want to go after? The answer to that depends upon who he will be able to hit. 1, 2, 3. That is going to block him. So yeah, they're gonna shoot Fen. So to get the benefit of the reroll, let's do this kind of movement trick here. 1. No, not that one. It's going to go 1, and then he's going to shoot, and he's next to his guy, so he gets the benefit. So we've got a blue and a green versus a black. So that's no reroll needed. That's a good roll. So 4 against 2. So 2 damage to Fen. That knocks him out. So he's wounded. Flip his card over. He still has the strain, but we take away all the damage because he's wounded. So they've moved here 1. So they're going to finish their movement 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Then this one's going to go. Let's see, he doesn't want to attack Fen because Fen is already wounded. So he's going to move here. Then 1, 2, 3, that puts him in at least the good range. And he's got line of sight to Onar. So let's go ahead and start bashing on Onar. So it's a blue and a green. Onar doesn't have any block die. So he has 20 hit points, so that's a lot, but it adds up quickly. So let's go ahead and shoot Onar. So we are going to do the reroll on this one because that's not a great roll. 4, so that's 4 damage. So 4 damage on Onar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he moved 1. Now it's 2, 3, and then that's where he's going to end his movement. This one is going to go 1, 2, 3. Well, I would like to go here and to be in the prime range for Onar and also get the benefit of this being adjacent, but that means that he would not be adjacent to the terminal. That means the rebels would just have to kill these guys, then interact with the terminal. So that's out of bounds. I don't think that's a good option. So let's rethink. So I think what we'll do is 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to move there, but here, I just want to make sure that he can hit. You know what? He gets the reroll. He's going to get the reroll. So 4 here. So we might miss because of the accuracy, but we do get the 1 reroll die. So if we need it, let's take a chance. So blue and a green. 2, 3, 4. Still has line of sight. Yep. Okay, so he's definitely going to need a reroll because that was just terrible. So let's reroll the blue die because this is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, the accuracy doesn't even hit him. So let's reroll the blue die because we're more likely to get a good. Actually, either one is going to get has a good chance of getting a good. Okay, so that at least hits. This is 5 plus 1 is 6, and it's within 4. So 1 damage plus the surge is another 1, so 2 damage on Onar. So he's up to 6, and he's going to stay there, just blocking. So that's the stormtroopers. So now we have the rebels again. The rebels are going to be greedy this scenario in trying to pick up all of the crates because we still have 3 more rounds, or 2 rounds after this one, to finish the scenario. And so they're going to try to get as much as they can. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't start pounding on these guys first. They've already gone. The jet trooper is already gone, so there's no reason to do that. If Onar rushes forward, though, then he'll be hit by this guy. He's going to be hit by that guy anyway, but at least there's a strategy thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and have her go. So Shyla is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or do we just want to ignore that guy altogether? No, let's not be too brazen. So, okay, she's going to use her special ability, which is the replacing one yellow die, and or her duelist blade special ability. So it's a red and a green, and the defense has a black die. She only needs to do 2 damage. So that's 4 minus 2 is 2 damage, so that kills this trooper. So is that the last trooper? That is the last jet trooper. So get that out of there. So then at the end of her turn, not adjacent to any hostile figures, recover 1 that. So this is a cakewalk city here. I've already taken Fenn's turn. I forgot to flip his thing. The second time I forgot to flip his thing there. So now Captain Taro gets to go. So Captain Taro has an interesting activation. At the start of your activation, gain 3 movement points. And then he can, of course, do an attack, but he can't do 2 attacks. He does have a flamethrower ability, which is really nice. I won't read it here, but it's pretty nice. But he can't do that and shoot Onar. So here's the dilemma. He wants to go 1, 2, 3. He can do that. And that doesn't take an activation. But if he wants to be able to hit Onar, to get line of sight to Onar, he's going to have to do some more movement wherever he moves. Doing that more movement is an action of his activation, so he can't do the flamethrower this turn. So we're gonna skip that. It's more important to get the hit on Onar. He could hit Fenn, but who cares? Fenn's already wounded, and we're not going to kill him with 1 or 2 hits. So where to move to? Well, the answer is block. Let's block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 movement, so that's a good movement place. And he's just going to shoot Onar. So he's got blue, green, yellow. And getting back to the decision to move, if you remember removing Fenn, the rebels moved him here. It was precisely because of this type of situation that it kind of blocks, kind of gets in the way. So, and that's what happened here. So blue, green, and yellow. Blue, green, yellow, and then Onar has no defense. So this is going to do quite some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that's not a whole lot of damage. So that's 4 damage. Let's give a 5 and give back a 1. So Onar's at 10, only halfway there. So that's it for Captain Taro. And the last one to take their turn in this round is Onar. So we're not even going to bother attacking Taro. That's just out of bounds because we're not going to kill him, and then we don't need to. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gets him there. He can even push someone. He has an ability called Rush. When you enter a space adjacent to a small figure, you may push that figure up to 1 space, limit once per activation. So push in Star Wars Imperial Assault means just move it. Doesn't have to be away from it. So let's just push him there. You might as well get him away from the terminal. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and spend a strain to move him there. So now he's definitely next to the terminal. All they have to do is destroy these. So these guys. So Onar's going to try to hit the trooper that's right here. So that's a red and a green. No need to add accuracy because the green already has accuracy. Okay, so let's hit that stormtrooper. No, very bad. So 1, 2, again with the red die is very RNG, that's what they call it. So that is random number generator. That's just a term that people use nowadays. So it's 2 damage against 2. His surge he can't use for anything attacking, so no damage, and the surge he is going to use to get back 1 strain. So no damage for Onar. And that's the end of round 4.